Hi, and welcome to our training on Office 365 and all the different apps. Today, specifically, we're going to be talking about Teams. And specific to Teams, we're going to be talking about how to create and manage Teams. So if you've never used Teams, this is the app that's open right here. You can download this from your Office 365 page, or if you're in Office 365, you can actually use the web app as well. Click the little 9 dots there, and it'll pull up Teams. And then when you come into Teams, this will take a minute to load, but when you come into Teams, you can have the option to install the app on your computer if you have the rights to it, if you have the right subscription, the right plan to be able to get into it. So we'll let that load up, but we'll come back to the desktop app here. So on the desktop app, this is a team here. So this is our general Bizarre Solutions team that we use: general, dispatch, escalations, random, sales chats. These are specific teams or for specific customers, and you can have different channels under them. So general, dispatch, these are channels. This here, the top level with the little logo, is actually the team, just to have all the lingo and the verbiage right. So today what we're going to do is we're going to create a new channel and show you how to manage our new team and some new channels. Just a quick note on this. So the way you want to use these, so you kind of understand what we're looking for, is these are, like I say, different groups that you will create for your company, for your team. Maybe you have a sales one or a marketing one, a function around accounting. You can either create multiple teams or you can create channels. So channels like this one here is our random. We just post silly stuff up in here, whatever it is. And so here's one where Patrick's talking about some hold music from an insurance company. The sales one we use where we post things up when there's a new ticket that comes in. Say somebody asked one of the support guys for a new computer, that'll go over to sales to get the quote to them, that sort of thing. This one was specifically, this computer lab issues was when we were trying to track down computer lab issues. So we actually made a channel specific for that. So we could put every time there was a computer lab issue in one spot that was easy to then trace what was going on and what potential problems we were seeing. So that's how you're generally going to use these. Dispatch, like for us, when phone calls come in, we usually use that in dispatch also to tell who's coming and going, so we have an idea of what it is. So you'll have to come up with what those look like for your team. So what we're going to do is create a team. If you come down here to the bottom, it says Manage Teams. You hit this little gear. You can see same teams that are here, and we can do Create Team. So for this one, we're going to build the team from scratch. If you already have an Office 365 group, you could use that. We're going to build a team from scratch. You can make it private or public or organizational wide. Private means only the people you invite will be in it. Public means anyone in your organization can look for it, find it, and connect in. Org wide means everybody in the company is automatically going to be added in. So we usually say if this is going to be anything that isn't public, it always should be private. That's a good place to start. So we'll call this training. And then you can put in a description here. This is a test team for training. We hit create. It will create the team. And you can see it popping up in the background there, and now I can add members. So if I wanted to add Patrick, let's say we'll just add him in. We don't need a bunch of people in this group. You can make him an owner or a member. If he's an owner, he can change permissions and settings and invite people, approve people. If he's a member, then he's just a member of the group. So since we don't need a lot of people, right here you can see it added him to the group. If I add somebody else to this group, it will also show up here. So you'll know who is here and what's going on with this team. Now with this team, it's automatically going to create, you can see we've got training, we've got general. If you hit the 3 dots here next to that, we can add a channel. So if you want to do test channel, again, you can put this in there and you can say automatically show this channel to everyone's list so anybody in the group will see it. So you can hit add. Again, so now we've got a test channel and it's automatically going to be in the list, so it shows up real easy over there. We're going to come back to general, but this is how you can see how easy it is. So again, the 3 dots, you can create any kind of test channels that you might want, or other channels that you want specific to your team that you're working on. So again, maybe you have an accounting team and you have an AR channel, or maybe there's a project team and each project gets its own channel, and then all the people who are working on the projects are invited to that. So again, just you guys can figure out what needs to happen there. So here's the big thing. So when you start typing, and actually I have to use one of these since I don't have somebody to type with me here. We'll come back to random here. So keep in mind this will work exactly the same since there's no chats that are up. When you chat, it'll pop up just like these have. So I can do it, test. Well, here, we can do it here. So we can say test, 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 and it comes up. Now, if I do again, test, 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 it's going to come up. Now, here's the interesting thing. If I wanted to reply to this, I can reply here and say, reply to my test. And that'll actually put it in a threaded view. And the nice thing being that as the threaded view gets longer, it'll collapse in the middle here. So you're not looking at this giant list. It doesn't push everything up. The other thing that makes this really nice over email is that it's easy to track the thread. Now, a couple of things here that I like to use all the time. The thumbs up, like this message, to me, we've always used this internally as a great recognition. So if I say, you know, hey guys, can somebody pick up this phone call? They can reply back, they can hit a thumbs up, and when they do, now you can hover over it and see who has, and it'll give you recognition as to what exactly has happened there. So we use that all the time. Other interesting thing, if you want, you can drag and drop files. So you see I grabbed this PDF on my desktop, dumped it here, it's going to upload it. Now keep in mind, if you're going to share stuff out of Sharepoint, you want to share the links, and we'll talk about that in another training video because you don't want to create multiple data sets. So once I hit enter, it now shares that into the group. You can use GIFs if you guys think that's funny. We use them quite a bit, and so if I want to do Pikachu here, I hit the button, and now it's got Pikachu. It's taking a minute to load, but anyways, Pikachu will be here in a second. So you can use these just to create chats and channels. It's much easier than we find than email, and it's much quicker to find what's going on. So here's one other thing I want to get into because I don't want this video to get too long, but if you're setting up a new channel, you need to know this. So up here at the top, you can see conversations, files, and you'll see that file I uploaded is here, and then wiki. We're not going to talk about wiki and get into it. Files, keep in mind, anybody that is in this channel will be able to see these files. So don't put stuff up here that you don't want everybody to be able to see that's in this channel. The other thing is, keep in mind, some of this is saved in the back end, but it's a different data set. What we want to do, if say you have a Sharepoint site and you want to add up there, is if you add a tab, you'll see all this comes up, and you can add all kinds of different stuff. If you use, you know, Flow or Trello, all kinds of different apps that are built into here. And what we want to do is right here, this very first one is this documents, and it should always be the first one. If not, just search up here for documents, but we're going to do documents, and this is a Sharepoint document library. These are our Sharepoint sites. So if I wanted to, I could just come in here to say our sales and marketing site. I'm going to hit next. Then it's going to say which library do we want. We'll pick marketing documents. You can check the box here to post to the channel and let them know that the tab's been added. And then we're going to call this marketing document library. So we'll hit save. Now what that's done is added the document library here. And so if you come back to general real quick, conversations, you can see it shows that we added the library. By the way, our Pikachu is here now. So if we go to marketing document library, what I want to show you is that if we come to our Sharepoint site, sales and marketing, this is all off the web. And again, depending on how you have this synced, you might have this on your computer as well. I'll show you that in a second. So under marketing documents, you can see advertising, brochures. Oh, we need to sort this by name. And so if you look here, advertising, brochures, it is the exact same data. So it's really, really nice about this. And again, I'll show you here real quick. If we come in and look at our marketing documents, advertising, brochures, all the way down the list. What's really great about this now is that I can work and share out of this library. So in this team, in this chat, I can go to this document library and instantly share and reference. So if I want to get a link to, say, this seminar, I hit the checkbox. I say get the link. Here it is. I can copy about it, come over to conversations, and I can say, guys, everyone check out this doc for the meeting. Paste it in there, which is just Control V, and it automatically puts it in there. Now if I click that, it'll open up right here in it. The other thing that's neat is any of these documents that it can, like if I click, here's a seminar invitation for a seminar that we just did with an insurance company. It opens up right here. I can edit it. I can edit it in Word. I can edit it in Word Online, or I can just close it if I'm done with it. But I can now see these Word documents. I've never left Teams, so it makes it really easy to look at this documents, pop right around and see what's going on. So anyways, that is the basic overview here of setting up a new team, and that's the important part, and then setting up channels within that team, adding the document library, which is a big deal, and then just the real brief overview of chatting with people and how you can use replies versus just starting a new conversation. And we'll get into how you use Teams a little bit more in the next training video. So with that, I think we'll end this one and check out the next one. We're going to talk about general settings in Teams and what else needs to happen so you can change your way your alerts are and et cetera. Thanks, guys.